Hi, Coach. Tonight, I want to share with you why I left my 9 to 5 in order to become a full time life coach. My name is Krista Kathleen, and I'm a life coach and business mentor. I work with women who are ready to become life coaches and start online coaching businesses so they can live a life full of freedom and flexibility and create an income while making an impact. And tonight, I want to share with you all my big, grand story that is being turned into a book as we speak. 3-year project in the making, long, craziest project I've ever taken on in my life. But yeah, this is a big story of how I left my 9 to 5, my former life behind to become a life coach. And even though I have this beautiful life now that I've created, there was a lot of failures, a lot of setbacks, a lot of pain that was involved in becoming a life coach. And so I think it's going to be really useful and valuable for you all to hear my story. And when I was a new life coach back in 2016, I would interview life coaches all the time and just, get on the phone with them and ask to hear their story because I wanted to, deep down inside, I wanted to give myself permission that I deserved to have a successful life coaching story too. And so hearing other people's success stories inspired me and motivated me and let me know that it was okay for it to feel messy and whatever I was feeling at the time was normal. So I really do hope that my story can help you in that way. And I want you guys to listen for the parts of my story that you resonate with and give you that empowering permission. So before we start, would love to hear from all of you. Let me know in the comment section. Would love to know, what part of the world you're watching from and what kind of coach are you and who do you enjoy helping the most? So my story begins in St. Louis, Missouri. Some of you may know where this is, some of you may not. It is right in the center of the United States, below Chicago, second biggest city in the Midwest. This is where I was born and raised. And right from the start, or as early as I remember feeling like I never truly fit in with the people around me and just felt different from most people and felt very isolated. And I didn't know how to describe that to many people. And I now know why I felt like that. But that was hard for me growing up. That was a big struggle. I always kind of just felt like a loner. Growing up, I was the good girl. I got straight A's. I was the homecoming queen. I kept my mouth shut. I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't want to make people mad, especially I didn't want to make my parents mad. I was a huge people pleaser, still somewhat am to this day. I'm still working on that. I just always would keep my mouth shut and never speak up because I was always afraid of getting in trouble, getting punished. And so I went to the University of Missouri for college and I went to nursing school because my mom was a nurse, my sister was a nurse. I did have a fascination with the human body and with health, and my parents put a lot of pressure on me to, choose a nursing degree because they said it'll make you a lot of money and it's stable and you can find a job anywhere in the world. So, I didn't know what I wanted at 20 years old. And I was like, sure, that sounds great for me. I'll go for it. And I tried it and I hated it. I hated it from day one. And I was like, oh, it'll get better. It'll get better. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe, I don't know. I just could tell right away that it wasn't for me, but I was stubborn and I had this big ego and I wanted to make my parents proud. And so I stuck with it day after day after day. I was miserable. Just the energy in the hospital world and the way doctors treat the nurses, the way nurses treat each other, and being around the sick patients. And I didn't know at the time I was an introvert and empath and just seeing all those people in pain. And I was just leave the hospital day after day feeling drained and not knowing how to truly help these people. It was stressful. And then on top of that, I'm a very creative person. I'm a very good artist. Anything you put in front of me, I can replicate through painting and drawing. But I always kind of shut down my artistic side because, so many of us do. We say, oh, you can't make real money with art. But I found that, in nursing school, you have to follow very strict hospital protocols and there's not much room to like deviate. And if you do, you get in trouble. And so I found that it was really suppressing my creative side as a nurse. And I found I wasn't really fitting in with the other nurses either. And again, I didn't know why all this was going on. I just always felt lost and confused in my life. While I was in nursing school, I met my soon to be husband. He was a military nurse. He was training for the military and a nurse as well. He was trouble right from the start, but I didn't know how to listen to my intuition back then. So I pursued him hardcore and we started dating my last semester of nursing school. And his first duty station was Hawaii. So he invited me to go out to Hawaii with him, and I thought I won the lottery. I got to finally get out of the Midwest, leave Missouri, go see the world. I wanted to see the world so badly for the longest time. I never knew why. People thought I was crazy, but I just wanted to get out of Missouri so freaking bad. So we started a life out in Hawaii, and that's where we both started our nursing jobs. And this was right before we got married. And things were fine. Things were good at this point. I had a lot of fun living out there. I mean, how could you not? It was paradise. Got married the last month that we were out there. And then the next duty station he got was Seattle, which we were really excited about because we got to live on the West Coast and Seattle's beautiful and so much hiking and amazing people. So we move out to Seattle, and this is when all of the problems started. This is when you can ignore your feelings and your problems for so long, but then something's going to start coming up to the surface, right? Things are going to happen. I say you can only ignore your stuff for so long before the universe is going to start to intervene. And this is where the universe greatly intervened in my life. I had decided that I wanted to get into bikini bodybuilding. I love training for something. I also love modeling. So this was a good combination of the two. I joined a bodybuilding team out there, and this was a really good distraction for me at the time. By being able to control what I ate and exercising 6 days a week, I constantly stayed busy, and I didn't have to focus on the fact that my marriage was like slowly crumbling and that I was very, very unfulfilled in my nursing career. So that was a really good distraction for me at the time. So while I was doing that crazy training schedule, I also hired my first life coach. And I didn't know what life coaching was. This girl on our bodybuilding team, she was helping the other girls on our team to like brand themselves and helping them work through life problems. And I was like, who is this girl that's like, she's kind of like these people's therapists in a way, and helping them to build a business. And I don't know what it is, but it's really cool. And I want her in my life too. So I remember I reached out to her and we did a sales call. And I said, hey, I have this idea I want to run by you. I think you are the person to help me with this. I don't know if you are or not, but I think you are. And I told her about this idea that I had, and I wanted to start my first side business. Both of my parents are entrepreneurs, and like I said, I have this very creative side, and I just was like, I feel called to start some sort of business at this time. And I told her that I wanted to become a part pregnancy coach, part prenatal yoga instructor, because I saw a lot of gaps in the way I became a labor and delivery nurse. I saw a lot of gaps in the way that they treated pregnant women in the hospital. It was very like taking the power away from the women, treating the women like they were diseased, and like the doctors are the ones that, have all the power. And I just was like, there's something wrong here. I'm supposed to help pregnant women. So my life coach was like, yeah, absolutely. I love this vision. I'm going to help you. And this is where she helped me to really get started on the online world. She taught me how to do Zoom video calls with my clients. She taught me how to set up my first coaching package. She taught me how to do branding and marketing. And my mind was just being blown because I didn't know any of this stuff being a nurse, right? I knew how to clock into the hospital. I knew how to, take notes on a patient. I knew how to deliver a baby. I knew how to clean body fluids up and all that, but I didn't know how to run a business. But, I was like, I'll try. I'll see it. what happens? Why not? And I found that I was really good at it and I really loved it. And I was putting posts out on Facebook saying, hey guys, I'm starting this new business. I'm stretching for two, and I want to help pregnant women to get ready for labor. And I want to do that through coaching and prenatal yoga. And I had so many people, particularly my past sorority sisters in college, reach out that were pregnant. I'm like, yeah, I want to work with you. And I was making about $350 per month with those first set of clients, and I thought I had hit the jackpot. I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is insane. I can't believe I'm making this much money from something that I just created from scratch. And it was so much fun, and I was getting more and more referrals, and like I said, everything was going fairly well. So life was at a boiling point, or right before a volcano erupts, right? My life coach had gifted me a session with her psychic. She's like, I really think you should meet with my psychic, and she can give you amazing business advice. So I met with this psychic online through a Skype call, and it was super eye-opening. And she told me that in 3 months, something really big was going to happen in my life, in my business, that was going to change everything for me moving forward. And, I thought like, oh, I'm going to get a book deal, or I'm going to get a reality TV show. I thought like something like success, like that would happen. The reality of the situation was 3 months later is when we sat down and started the divorce paperwork. And then literally later that week is when I got fired from my nursing job. I call it my hurricane year. That was truly rock bottom for me, because you got to remember, I was the good girl. I got straight A's. I never failed. I was at the top of my class. I was the people pleaser. To get divorced, to get fired, I didn't know what to do with that. I literally thought the universe hated me. And I remember at one point, I was in so much emotional pain, and I didn't know what to, I didn't know how to deal with feelings and emotions at that time. And I almost thought about like cutting myself and hurting myself, because I was like, I need to feel better. I need to feel physical pain so I don't feel this emotional pain. And I ended up not doing it. But like I said, that was truly, truly my rock bottom. And there's more details to this that you'll read in my book when that comes out here pretty soon. But I'm so grateful that I was working with my life coach when all of this happened, when this huge shitstorm happened, because she was truly one of the few people that got me through that. Because my friends and my family were trying to give me all this unhelpful advice and trying to tell me what to do. My family wanted me to sue my husband and take all his money, and my friends were I don't know, I just felt like they were like really judgy and everything. And I was like, I just need someone on my side. I need someone who can like help me to figure out what's next, what next steps look like, because there was just a big blank unknown in front of me for the first time ever. I didn't have a life plan in front of me. And I was eventually planning on leaving the nursing world anyway. My husband and I were going to go travel. We were going to take a year off from our nursing jobs and go travel the world for a year and, kind of figure our life out. And it just all happened so much sooner than I was expecting. I did a whole Toastmaster speech on this, and she basically said, what do you want to do now, Krista? And it was such a simple question, but it was so powerful at the same time, because she wasn't telling me what to do. She was asking me what I wanted to do. And nobody in my life was doing that for me at that time. This is why I so believe in the power of coaching and trusting that our clients are the ones that have all of the solutions and all of the answers, because they do. So I told her, I was like, I want to sell all my shit. I want a clean slate. I want to leave the United States, and I want to go see the world. I want to go travel the world. I want to do my Eat, Pray, Love journey. I want to figure out who I am outside of being a military nurse, outside of being a nurse, and I want to find myself again. This was all happening at 30 years old. And she said, okay, what can I do to help? And she, helped me to transition out of that old life, which was so, so hard to do. I say that like a part of me died. I left my former self behind. I was stepping into this new empowered version of myself that I didn't know yet. I lost a lot of friends in that transition, because it's like once you have this higher level of consciousness, you can't go back. You can't go back to the old version of yourself. It's just physically impossible. And I was following this blogger online that hosted women's retreats all over the world. and she was hosting one in Costa Rica. So I was like, that is where I'm going to start my journey. I'm going to go on this women's empowerment retreat in Costa Rica and then go from there. And that's what I did. And it was a week of just swimming naked in the ocean under the moonlight and doing like this exotic dancing and just like howling at the moon, and just for the first time letting my uninhibited side completely take over and giving zero fucks. And it was so freeing. And it was the medicine that I needed at that time for my broken soul. Let me back up a little bit. So before I left for Costa Rica, I decided to close down my Stretching for Two business. It was too painful to keep working with pregnant women because of just getting fired. So after my last client delivered her baby, like I said, I officially shut that down. And then one of my clients, who was my pregnancy coaching client, asked me if I would be her life coaching client. She was getting ready to start a new business through an MLM. She was a new mom, and she's like, I need support, I need motivation, I need accountability. And I was like, I don't know how to be a life coach, but I'll try. And she's like, yes, I want you to be my life coach. You're the perfect person. And then another random person after that reached out to me and asked me to be their life coach. And these two women did not know each other whatsoever. So I took it as a sign, and the universe was saying that, okay, you need to be a life coach. And I always say that when the universe sends multiple people in your life that are saying or asking the same exact thing, that is literally a sign from the universe. I decided to give it a go and start my life coaching business. And I tried that for about a year on my own, kind of like dabbling in that, testing the waters. And then after I got to a point where I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing anymore, that's when I signed up for a coach training program, accredited through the International Coaching Federation, and decided to get like official coaching skills and work on the gaps in my business. And while I was doing that, this was all online, and I was just traveling all over the world. I was either every month or every 3 months, I was traveling to a new country, and I went to Australia, Nepal, Southeast Asia, Central America, Europe, Africa. I mean, I went to almost 50 countries during that time in 2 years, and I literally never thought I would go back to the United States. But eventually I started to get burned out, and I was like, okay, I need to chill. I need to take a rest, and I'm going to go back. And I was like, I'm never going to go back to St. Louis. I never want to go back to that place again. Well, guess where I ended up? I was in St. Louis, where I am to this day. It's so funny how we always kind of return back home. After I did 5 months in South America, I went back home, and I was like, I'm just going to be single for a while. I have another deeper love story, painful love story, but again, that'll be in the book. I don't want to give everything away in this story. But so I was dealing with heartbreak from this relationship that just ended, and then still dealing with the grief of the divorce and getting fired and just leaving my former life behind. So I was like, I'm going to come home. I'm going to chill for a little bit at my parents' house. I'm going to be single, and I'm going to start really focusing on my life coaching business. And then that is when I found my now boyfriend, Kyle. I always, the power of surrendering, the power of letting go. That's when things usually start to come in. So I think I was really only single for about 5 months. And then Kyle and I started dating, and we had our first son, Lincoln. And, it's his house that I'm living in now, our house. But yeah, the rest is history. So now I am a full-time online life coach. I work with clients all over the world. I work with some men, but mostly women who are looking to start online businesses, and the majority of them are new life coaches. I have some that aren't life coaches. And I work with these women over the course of 6 months, and we meet anywhere from every week to every other week. And I have a couple different streams of revenue in my coaching business. I coach for a corporate company in San Francisco part-time. And then I also sell my digital course, Build Your Life Coaching Biz. And then I have my one-on-one offering. And then I've done lots of group programs and lots of online workshops. And I've dabbled in motivational speaking a little bit. Like I said, I'm almost done writing my book. So I really do love the life coaching world because it's the gateway drug to all these other options and possibilities out there for making money and building your business. And I mean, my life isn't perfect now, but it's so much better. It's so much better than what it was, and it truly feels like it's a life now on my own terms, and I'm running the show now, whereas before I felt like I was constantly giving my power away and letting everyone else take control and tell me what to do. And now I'm in the driver's seat and I control my life, and it feels fucking amazing. And I couldn't get to where I am now without having to go through all that pain, going through that, all those breakdowns. Life is good, and now I want to get, I want to pay it forward, and I want to help other women in my, that was in my exact position of being in a toxic marriage, being in an unfulfilled job, and feeling called to start a business so that way you can truly help change other people's lives and help them get through their biggest challenges in life, and go after their biggest dreams and desires. So I just absolutely love being a life coach and working from home, which is so much better for protecting my energy. And I'm happy to say I've replaced my nursing income. That was always my biggest why, my biggest motivator. So during my hardest days when starting as a life coach, and when I was constantly like, is this going to work? I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, I will do anything to make sure I never have to go back to being a nurse again. And so I always like to tell people, make sure you truly know your why, you identify with your why, and that is what's going to drive your motivation and get you through those really tough times. Namaste. Have a great evening or wherever you're at in the world. All right. Bye.